It's no secret that passions develop over time. But there's nothing more satisfying than having the skills to express yourself. Whether you're an athlete, an artist, a singer, or a media nerd, having a passion is priceless. Now, I don't really make videos about myself too often, but today I thought I'd change that. My name is Mateo, and this is the story of how I found my passion. Now, our story begins in early 2014. I was 16 years old and in my junior year of high school. At the time, I felt a bit disillusioned. I had recently fallen out of practice in one of my earliest and dearest talents, art. And for once in my life, I felt like I had nothing. No passion, no defining traits. This led me to reflect and ask a question that probably changed my life. What am I good at? I began to scramble and pose this question to myself endlessly. And finally, I came up with an answer. I'm good at doing impressions and voices, I decided. Now, I know that doesn't sound like, well, anything, but back then, it was something. I quickly began to record myself doing impressions of every cartoon character under the sun, from Vegeta to Heinz Doofenshmirtz, and even Herbert the Pervert. I found an amateur casting call website and began to upload my recordings there. They were lackluster, to say the least. Here, have a listen.
Why, it must be my birthday. Boys, we can settle this like reasonable and sexy teenagers.
Trust me, it hurts me to listen to that all these years later. But hey, it was a start, and it kinda was keeping me entertained. Eventually, I branched out to other unrelated roles like audio dramas or animations, most of them amateur projects made by young aspiring directors and artists. Here's a sample of an early project I participated in.
All my life I've grown up and never really looked back on the past. But recently, I think a look back could benefit us all.
Most of these projects were rather small and often didn't amount to much. Then on one fateful day, I went back to the aforementioned casting call website and found a listing that caught my eye. A creator was planning on releasing a Deadpool visual comic with voiced characters. I applied for the role of Deadpool and somehow managed to get it. I was ecstatic. I couldn't wait. And better yet, the creator in question actually had subscribers. Sure, not a lot, but it certainly beat the previous instances where I was lucky to get a channel with something above 0. I rushed to get all my lines recorded, and the comic was released. I wasn't very skilled back then, so my vision for my portrayal, in contrast to how I actually performed, wasn't exactly great. My lines felt rushed and overacted. Here's a sample of the video so you can get a feel for what I mean.
Another time, another place, we could have talked a long time about that. Maybe over a beer, your pappy's favorite moonshine, or snuggled up on a psychiatrist's couch. Right now, though, it's my solemn duty to slag your drippy redneck ass.
Nonetheless, I didn't let my weak performance get me down. I'll try again next time, I thought. And well, realistically, who would even watch this video? Turns out a lot of people actually. One day I logged onto YouTube and found that the video I was a part of had amassed over 100,000 views. I was thrilled, but also a bit bummed that the public wouldn't see me, or rather hear me at my best. But nonetheless, people seemed to really like the video. Then all at once, it hit me. Maybe there's something more to this voiceover stuff. So I got serious. I began to gradually learn how to properly edit and process audio, and I purchased actual audio equipment. Each edition was just a little bit better. I went from an iPhone mic to a Blue Snowball to a Blue Yeti to a Scarlett mic, and finally, I purchased my ultimate tool, the Rode NT1A. This would remain my microphone of choice until the present day actually. With time, I began to hone my skills and apply for more and more voiceover roles, and I became a part-time voice talent for the YouTube channel, Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, which had previously featured voices from such popular YouTubers like Markiplier, and it was pretty notable at the time. I created a Fiverr account and began to earn money for my voiceover work. I even managed to land a 1-year contract for the Coca-Cola company. Sure, the commercial never aired, but this did wonders for my resume and experience. I also slowly began to learn to edit videos on the side, just to add to my skill set. Though a lot of the projects I worked on were objectively bad, and really served no purpose beyond my own amusement, but they helped me get my feet wet. I would often leave my house with my sister's camera, and I would shoot anything my heart desired. Then, one day, I finally decided to purchase my own camera, the Lumix G7. It's a workhorse and a great video camera, especially for the price. This would soon become my greatest technological asset, being the camera that I would use to shoot nearly all of my videos from that day forward. I was now 23, and it seemed like things were finally looking up. I had found my niche, and I was ready to start taking it to the next level. In early 2020, I applied to study at Florida International University, and by then, my choice of major was rather obvious. It had to be communications. This degree encompassed many of the things I was passionate about: video editing, audio editing, and the media in general. At first, I felt rather unconfident about my work, often going above and beyond to ensure it was up to my professor's standards. But with time, I found that my prior experiences had slowly been preparing me for this. Without realizing it, I was building one of my own greatest assets. I knew about audio editing thanks to VoiceOver, and I knew about video editing as well, because of my many experimental projects of years past. For once, I truly felt like I was pursuing what I was meant to do, and it felt great. In my classes, I've had more than a few chances to combine some of my skills in order to create a project, and I'm gonna go ahead and show a shining example of that right now. And finally, we need a train or metro mover that actually takes passengers to the South Beach area. Miami has the worst commute times in the country, beating out Los Angeles and New York. But if these key issues are fixed, we can help change that. I eventually had some of my works published on FIU's South Florida Media Network, and I've been able to do many things I've never thought I'd get a chance to do. And it's amazing to think that it all started with something as silly as cartoon impressions. If anything, this experience has taught me to always keep an open mind, be open to the possibilities of these things. And if you have no passion or talent at all, find one. It'll truly enrich your life. Thanks so much for listening to my story. And remember to never live without a passion.